right. I just hit record. Here we got fucking Mr. Flint Face himself. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, good. I haven't seen you in a while. How's Salt Lake City treating you?
Salt Lake City's good, man. It's been good to me. I've been out here 11 years now.
11? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I was like, shit, man, he's gone. I didn't see you around. And then I was like, oh shit, he's way the fuck out there.
yeah, dude. I'm like the hardcore boogeyman.
Yeah.
I would show up and disappear.
Yeah. Does everybody obviously they see your face and they say Flint, Michigan? Does that just register with them right away or what?
Yeah, usually it's usually the way it goes, man.
Yeah.
Out here, well, the funny thing is, out here they don't know, and to actually meet somebody from Flint is actually pretty crazy for them. Just like, oh my god, you're from Flint? Like, yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
So, yeah. But what's going on? What's good?
Not a whole lot. Just I mean, you know, like once I started this thing, like me and you sort of started talking about it, and I assumed you'd be a good guest to come on. You fucking agreed to come on just because you've been around like quite a while, man. Like, what year did you start like going to shows? Because you're from Flint. Like, was there always a scene there, or did you always have to go to Detroit for shit like that?
Well, I started going to shows in about 93. And that was just local stuff. There was a place in Flint called the 432. And they used to have like just local shows, punk shows. Saw the Suicide Machines there.
Hell
Saw
yeah.
tons of people there. Used to go to the Capitol. The Capitol used to have a lot of good shows. Only got to see a few shows there, but used to hang out outside a lot. There was a lot of craziness outside that place. But yeah, pretty much hardcore wise, like the first hardcore band I really started seeing and hanging around with was there was a band in Flint called Spit. And Spit was the hardcore band in Flint. They were the straight edge kids in Flint. Like they were the first kids I knew that were straight edge. And I don't know, they were like the cool kids down there. They knew
How old were you?
everybody. I was first time I saw Spit, I was 15, 16, around there.
That's what's up.
And then I didn't even know what straight edge was before that. We used to just go downtown and get fucked up because like downtown Flint there's no rules. So we used to go down to this place that was down by Dayton Avenue. It was this little liquor store that would just sell to us when we were like 12, 13 years old. You just go in there and get a 40 and we'd go down outside the local and just get all fucked up. And like we yeah, man, I just started kicking it around there and like trying to hang out with some of those dudes. And
Yeah.
I'd just be like, yo, you guys want to go get fucked up or something like that? And they'd be like, no, we don't do that. And yeah, that was my first introduction to straight edge.
So were you like growing up like in like the middle of Flint, like in like the hood? Or
Well, I grew up right next to Bishop Airport.
okay.
So I grew up in this shitty ass trailer park.
Oh yeah.
It was close enough that windows
Right
would rattle
there.
off and planes would land. So yeah,
Yeah. Easy
but I
access
was
to the crazy shit, right?
yeah. Well, no, it's right there. But
Yeah.
I mean, I spent every bit of time I could downtown. We were always downtown because it was like fucking hell's playground. It was just you could do anything down there. There's no cops, nobody cared. Like it was just crazy all the time. It was just Flint's a wild place.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean, I hear stories, man. Go ahead, get into it.
well, no, but when I was 14, I ended up moving to Grand Blanc, and I ended up going to Grand Blanc High School out there, which was a little bit better neighborhood, a lot better high school. But yeah, I was just a poor kid from a trailer park. I ended up getting to go to Grand Blanc because my dad was a manager of the park, so I got to go to a better school. But man, I was a shithead there, and I spent all my time like skateboarding and just trying to get downtown. We just get downtown as much as possible and hang out.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, man, there's a lot of violence out there in Flint, man. Like you said, even now today, like it doesn't seem like it's really recovered from you before the auto industry got fucking ripped out of there.
No, not at all. I mean, you guys kind of covered it with Joe Hardcore. I mean, Joe said it probably the best. You know, he was talking about growing up and just kind of being taught to handle things with your hands. And like my
Fuck
dad,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like my dad didn't teach me anything worth a shit. Like my parents weren't really into it. Like they weren't into me. So the only thing I ever saw my dad do was fight. And growing up, you know, we just grew up around violence. Everybody was violent. I mean, it was, I mean, it wasn't weird to be sitting around and see somebody's mom get beat up, or, you know, it wasn't weird to see people get shot at. And it wasn't, you know, I mean, we called it, you know, trailer park mascara because people just walk around with black eyes all the time. Like it was just that way. So, you know, like I said, you know, Joe covered it pretty well. When you kind of grow up around that, it's all you know. I didn't learn any positive ways to handle anything, so it was always fighting. Like everything was fighting all the time. Like I can remember getting in fights in, you know, second or third grade. I got kicked out of Cub Scouts because of fucking fighting. Like, you know, anything you can think of, it was just it always led to a fight. I mean, it was just that way.
I've seen you fight a couple times, maybe here and there.
I don't know, man. Wasn't
Never.
me.
No, no, shit, man. I mean, I remember the first couple times I ever seen you. I just remember seeing the fucking back of your head, man, the skull on the back of your head, and
Yeah.
like just see you stomping around. Maybe it was like Alvin's or something, you know. Just like seeing you, and you know, when so say back in like '03, how old were you then? Did you
Oh
remember?
03, I was 20, 23,
Yeah,
24.
yeah, you're 23 because I was like 16 or 17, and like so that's a big age difference, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the people you were hanging out with, like in Flint, were they like big older crazy dudes, and you were like the young one? Because I remember seeing you, and like
No.
all these people were fucking giants around me, you know, and
Yeah.
I was just like a young kid, and like seeing you and everybody else, it was like
Yeah.
sort of like the influence around there, you know. So
Well, you know, I don't know. No, because the kids in Flint that I hung around with, like I didn't hang around with, I mean, other than the spit, like when I met up with those kids when I was like 16 and then with straight edge when I was 17, like those kids were a big influence in my life. And I started hanging around those guys. But before that, man, we were just street kids. We just hung out with our peers. We just hung out with like young, low pieces of shit, like just us. It was just me and I had a friend named Brian, and we just got into all kinds of shit all the time, trying to take the bus everywhere, just getting in trouble all the time, just doing what we did and just running around. And but no, there wasn't really like an older group of kids to show us what to do. When I was younger, uh, like over in Flint Township, you know, there was some older kids there, but I mean, those older kids were 16, 17 years old. And, you know, they were all teaching us how to steal. And like, I used to move crack for a guy, like, because
damn,
I didn't know what I was doing, man. I was 10 years old. Like, he would just be like, hey, take this over to this guy's house and I'll give you $20. And like, that was how we grew up. So, you know, and you know, that dude's dead. So most of those people are dead. I mean,
yeah,
so it was like kind of with the hardcore thing, you know, I started, you know, so it was like 90, 95, 96. Uh, you know, I started hanging out with all those spit guys and stuff, and they started taking me to Detroit shows. I'd been to a couple of Detroit shows. Um, I went and saw, you know, I saw Pennywise at St. Andrews Hall in
hell yeah,
1993. I saw Bad Religion at the Fillmore. You know what I mean? Like I was pretty much, I was kind of like a punk kid a little bit. Like I wouldn't say I was like a crust punk kid, but like I was way into hip hop. But I like that fast California, like punk rock, that stuff. Anything that was in skate videos was like my shit. Uh, So, we'd go down for shows like that, but, Spit and like Dan Coburn and those guys like actually got me into like real hardcore. Like we started, they started taking me to shows at Pharaoh's, which I haven't heard anybody talk about Pharaoh's on here, which is kind of crazy because Pharaoh's was our fucking spot. Pharaoh's had a lot of crazy shows. And dude, there was no security.
Where was Pharaoh's at? Like, I've never been there. That was before
now,
me.
See, this is where we're gonna have the problem because I'm not from fucking Detroit. So we just get on 75 until the lights would stop.
Right.
And then you get off somewhere. I think it was downriver somewhere.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it was way the fuck out. And like I said, like, dude, I never met the guy that actually owned that place or ran that place. There was no fucking security. So we were doing our own thing. And, I saw a lot of bands there. It wasn't, see, I don't know. It's kind of weird to get into because with you being a younger age, I know you look up to a lot of older guys, but like when we were coming up, like I was not a fan of like CTYC guys. I wasn't a fan of them older dudes. Like I didn't like Negative Approach because I didn't like punks. Like they were not nice to us. Dude, the nicest guy in the world was Jeff G. Like Jeff G was the shit. Like that dude has always been the coolest fucking dude. But like Johnny, I mean, Dougie was cool too. Like Dougie was always around. Dougie was the first guy I ever saw with a fucking face tattoo. I still don't understand it. It was like a fucking fish on his face. I don't, but like Pharaoh's was our spot. So you didn't see people like Daryl or fucking Tom or Bird or any of them fucking guys. Like you didn't see any of them older dudes at that show. That was like, I mean, it was an all ages spot, but dude, that was like where Earth Mover played like some of the craziest fucking shows. That was where we just went the fuck off. That was where, Dave and I would say really kind of sharpened our tools on like what we were doing, like dancing wise. And I mean, the pits there were insane. They were really tight. We were knocking each other's heads off. It was a good time. Like that was back when Candace was cool. Like it was, dude. And there was a lot of shows there that were a lot of fun. But like you get out to like St. Andrews Hall and we get out to, a couple of the big, like especially the Shelter. I mean, I saw Cold as Life. I can't tell you how many times in the Shelter. And like that would be, those would be like major league shows. So you'd have dudes out there getting stabbed and guys getting hit with bottles. I got a nice fucking scar on my forehead from a certain human being that hit me with a bottle. But it was Pharaoh's was badass, man. Like Spit played there a couple of times, and like I said, like Dan and those guys like kind of took me under their wing and took me out there and kind of showed me the ropes, and we just ran with it, man. There was some crazy bands back then. I mean, everybody likes to talk about Tyrant, but like there was a band called Trifon that was insane. Trifon, and that was Dave's first band. Like there was 3 singers. Those guys never got through a set. If they had 6 songs, we never heard them all. Like there'd be, you know what I mean? Like they get through like 3 songs.
Shit just goes off.
Oh, dude, it was fucking nuts because 2 of the guys on stage that were playing with them were the bassist and the guitarist from a band called Tank.
I remember hearing about Tank.
Well, dude, I don't know if you ever met Big Chris or not, but there's a reason why he's called fucking Big Chris. The guy was a monster. So there's 3 singers on stage. Fucking Big Chris. Matt Hayes was playing in that band when he was like 12. He played fucking guitar. So it was, and Dougie was playing drums. And dude, Trifon was insane. And like hearing those guys, it was badass. Like it was so much fun because that was our shit. It's weird because like it's kind of made like Cold as Life's kind of made a comeback, which is cool or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't really know. I don't really know this. I don't know the dude that's singing now. I you know what I mean? Like this new
Oh, what's
Cold
happening
as
like
Life.
right now? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
nobody's singing for them. They're not even. There's really no, as far as I know, they haven't set any like set plans of a stage. They've just been fucking around at Roy's house, and I
Yeah,
think
no, I know Jeff G and those guys are trying to come back, and that's
yeah,
cool. But like,
yeah,
like this last rendition of them, like I don't know those dudes, and I don't like Goop, so that I didn't like that version. That you know what I mean? Like that guy's not my thing. I he was, I mean, he's a fucking asshole. I mean, straight up. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how
I've
to say
heard
it
things. I
anyway.
don't know, just the rumors. I don't know facts
You
or
know what I'm
shit.
saying? Like
So I don't know.
he tried to, he tried to strong arm John over some bullshit, trying to get him to fucking, you know what I mean? Like Tyrant was trying to do a song, was trying to do a Cold as Life song, and he tried to fucking strong arm John about that shit and trying to say he had to pay royalties or some shit. And I was like, what the fuck for? Like trying to pay homage to you guys, like,
Yeah,
and like for you to
high
stand up
fives
and
are
try
just
and
as good. Yeah.
yeah, and trying to take something from fucking Ron and Jeff, like get the fuck out of here, man. Like, uh, whatever. That dude was around for a little bit, and then you didn't see him. So, and now, like I said, I don't know this dude now, but like what I was trying to say is like, you guys kind of look up to like Cold as Life, and like everybody out here loves Negative Approach, and that wasn't our shit. Our shit was Earth Mover. You know what I mean? Like when Earth Mover played, we would clean the floor out. Like,
Yeah. I always knew there was
and
like a separation between like in the hardcore scene. It was always you pretty much divided like the straight edge versus like others, like I don't know who maybe was it just like the well, like the CTYC guys. I've always heard like stories of like St. Andrew's Hall. It was always like fucking straight edge dudes on one side and all the other dudes like the punks on the other side.
well,
But was that
it
like a little
wasn't.
bit before you or was that
No,
no?
no. There wasn't a lot of us, man. There wasn't. It didn't divide up between straight edge kids. It was just our age. You know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, like I hung out with Lenny a lot at shows, and like Lenny was far beyond straight edge, and and like Dave and I hung out with a lot of dudes, and like I'm not gonna speak for Dave a lot, just because Dave's his own man. Dave gets to Dave gets to say his thing. I love that man more than anybody. But we had a certain group of people that we hung around with, and it was 17 to 18-year-old just fucking psychos, like, and that was our thing. Like it was kind of funny because I remember, Jeff G brought up a show about, security hiding in the office. And I remember that show. That show was like a milestone for me, at least. We were going to a lot of shows, but like the bigger shows like that at St. Andrews Hall and stuff would be, like you said, they'd be divided. So like that night, Agnostic Front was playing with Cold as Life and Earth Crisis. So
That's a hell of a
it
show.
was,
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, it was a hell of a show, but like it was a fucking nerve-wracking show because we knew what was coming out, because we knew that everybody that was older than us was going to be there. So, I remember Dave pulling me aside, and this kid, Scotty Prisnell, or as we used to call him, Scotty Backflip back in the day, pulled us aside and was like, "Hey man, I'm not backing down from these guys tonight." And Dave was just like, I'm not backing down. So I'm going to fucking do what I do tonight. So if you guys aren't into it, like, bounce, because I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And I was like, fuck that. Then let's get it. And so I remember Cold as Life open. And I remember certain people dancing around with bottles in their hands and just kind of like warning us that, like, if you guys get crazy, like, this is what's going to happen. And then, Earth Crisis went on. And I remember some of the older CTYC guys standing behind me, calling me certain things, calling me, piece of shit, straight edge kid, and this and that, and we're gonna fuck you up and all this stuff. And when Earth Crisis went on, man, we just did what we did, and just danced how we dance, and it gets wild, and all hell broke loose. I mean, it was just that way, and it was that was a turning point, man. We it was wild. Like, we had to, things are a lot different. I know a lot of people like to talk about like now and then, and like shows aren't what they used to be, man. They'll never be, because they can't, because you guys can get online and fucking figure out how to dress and how to act, and like what shows you should be going to, and what bands you want to listen to, and when are the breakdowns coming, and when is this and when is that, and like what dance moves to do, and people are fucking cartwheeling and whatever. You know what I mean? It's all choreographed craziness, and that's fine. Like, it's a watered down version of what it was. Dude, when we started dancing the way that we were dancing, people were still trying to fucking circle pit. So like, you would punch, dude, there was a guy named BJ that used to go to shows that was a legit fucking soccer hooligan. This guy was he'd been kicked out of the World Cup. This guy was a fucking, yeah, dude, he was a nutcase. And these were the kind of guys that Dave and I were punching in the face. Like, these were the kind of guys that we were dancing with. And like, we had to hold our own, and that was about 90. I think that show was 96, 97.
Fuck, man.
But it was, you know what I mean? Like, it was just different. So, I don't know what people's opinions are of me. I don't know what people think of me or what I did, but I had a fucking chip on my shoulder. You know what I mean? And we always kind of had a chip on our shoulder because we kind of had to earn it. It was like, John was kind of talking about on here when he was talking about when he went to Iowa. Well, when he was in Iowa, that's when Dave and I were, fucking getting in fights constantly, and like trying to fight just for us to be at shows. The Hayes name got big. I mean, it got to the point where, it is where it is now. But dude, when we first started, like, this is like, this is like the story that everybody has, but like, I met Dave at Mount Holly in 95. He was snowboarding without a shirt on, and I yelled something down at him from the chair, and he told me, "Fuck you, fat boy." And I didn't think nothing of it.
I've never heard that.
2 hours later, walking out in the dark to go to my car, and he fucking walked up behind me with some homeboy, and he fucking smoked me in the face. I fucking punched him back. He was wearing sunglasses. 11 o'clock at night. That's how we met. A year later, we're at a Flint local show. Earth Mover was supposed to play. We're sitting upstairs, fucking drawing X's on our hands like dorky straight edge kids do. And we were just talking. And we got to talking, and somehow snowboarding came up, and I was like, yeah, man, I've been looking for this little motherfucker that hit me for like a fucking year. And he was like, yo, that was me. And I was like, holy shit. And we've been friends ever since. Like, so.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's how we got down. And we've been friends for over 20 years now.
Yeah. I want to go back to what you said, though, about, how you don't know what people think of you or their impression or opinion of you, and how you have a chip on your shoulder. Like, I could tell that was obvious. Like, I couldn't tell you what show was the first one, probably a Tyrant show or something at Alvin's. but like I said in the beginning, I just remember seeing you. How tall are you? Like 6'4", 6'5", maybe?
Everybody thinks I'm 6'4", 6'5". I'm 6'1", man.
Are you? Man, you're just fucking
Yeah.
huge. I don't
I
know,
just
but
take up a lot of room, man. I'm a
yeah,
big boy.
yeah, I just remember just seeing you, and it was obvious. Like it was like I didn't want to make eye contact with you, to be honest. I was like that guy fucking just like just your presence alone, like you said, well, you had a chip on your shoulder, and you had to fight for your right to be there for the longest time. So, like, it makes sense to why you were the way you were. You're like, basically, I fucking run this shit, but not, not like that, but just I'm here and I'm gonna make some noise. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I treat every day like I'm the weakest human being alive. So I've never walked into a room. I've never walked into any situation in my life where I thought that I was the fucking toughest human being ever. Because that shit'll just get you killed. That's a fucking target on your back. You know, the neighborhoods I grew up in, and like the neighborhoods I lived in like my teens and my, in my 20s and stuff like that. Like you walk around acting like you're the toughest guy, man, you'll get smoked by some 12-year-old. It'll just fucking shoot you. So that was never the thing. But the thing is like, you know, I you know, I always wanted to be the guy. So if there was a problem, like I was the guy. And no matter what it was, like if Dave had a problem or fucking Matt had a problem, any of my homeboys had a problem, man, I wanted to be the guy. And sometimes that got me in a lot of shit. And I mean, I had a lot of beef with a lot of people, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. I don't look back at it as like a bad time. I live my truth. You know what I mean? I get up and live my truth every day, and that was my truth then. Like I believed in it, and I died for it. I mean, those were these lyrics that everybody has on t-shirts and shit come from fucking somewhere. You know what I mean? Like Lenny would sing about killing fucking rapists. Like if we knew where rapists were, we probably would have fucking killed them. Like we didn't put up with anything, man, especially in our like late teens and 20s. Like we weren't putting up with shit, like anybody getting sideways with anything. And it just carried over, later down the road, I guess, wasn't really worth a shit. It didn't really matter because then I kind of, instead of beating up bullies, I kind of became a bully in a way. I didn't mean to, but the thing is like, also, I mean, you get to wear that Detroit hat now and people get to say, man, that place is fucking crazy because of the shit we did. It's not because of now. You know what I mean? Like crazy shit's not happening fucking now. Dude, the craziest fucking shit that's happening in Michigan is King. I mean, King's nuts and King does all kinds of wild shit, but like, it's not the same shit. Like right. It's different shit. But
that shit is crazy though, man. Their shows are fucking wild.
Yeah, and those were all kids that were like I lived in neighborhoods with. Like those are all my homeboys. Like, so
yeah. Well, on some of their videos, just show like they can tell like a true like Flint story just by like the way they portray it, like in some of the videos. But anyway, back to that. What were we talking about you and how people you see you, like your impression. Yeah, like you said, there's never that I seen you like fighting anybody for no reason. You were just a wild man. Like, whenever a band was playing, I never seen like really like you like bully or anything. It was just fucking. You were just turned up,
Yeah. Well, dude, it was my release. I've been straight edge for 26 years now, and like I didn't have drugs and alcohol to vent on, and like I just went the fuck off. I mean, and Tyrant was our band. Like me and a close group of friends decided that we were going to take everything literal. So when somebody said, fuck this place up, or somebody said, I want to see blood, or somebody said, something fucking crazy, we did it. The first show at Elvin's that Tyrant played, you know, certain somebody was on stage with a fucking holster getting wild, and that was the last time Ramona ever had chairs in that place, you know, and tables, because everything got fucking smashed. It was insane. Like, you know, the call came out and said fuck this place up, and we did it. And that's what we did at every show. And you know, it was kind of funny to hear John on here talking about how we might have held Tyrant back a little bit. You know, I love John. I've known John a long time, you know, riding up on his purple shadow, trying to save the world, and then be a fucking, you know, fake doctor during the day, but then be Captain Hardcore at night was fucking crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I love that dude to death. Like,
he's a nice guy. He's great.
Oh, he's the greatest dude. And like, Detroit hardcore doesn't exist without him right now. I mean, the guy's in every fucking band, but dude,
he does a lot.
We knew that Tyrant wasn't going anywhere. We were trying, and it's not like I'm part of the band. I'm just saying that, like, we were trying to make Tyrant the scariest fucking thing that existed. We were trying to make it the new Fury of 5. Like, we wanted shit to be legit. Like, the Fury of 5 guys are infamous. Like, those guys would beat up fucking venue owners. Those guys would, like, we were trying to make it a no nonsense. We were trying to make those shows the craziest fucking shows they could be. And I got yelled at a lot for that. Like, you know, and John, dude, and I'll be honest with you, it's not like John was not saying shit to us. John would fucking complain about it constantly. But Dave was like, fuck that. Like, this is fun. Like, this is the shit we do. And like, and I mean, you'll even see it. Like, you can go back and look at some of the shows. Like, we would fucking take nights off and just be like, no, man, we're not going to do it. We're not doing it tonight. And kids wouldn't be doing fucking anything stupid. And no trash cans are flying. Nothing's fucking getting wild. And then Dave would call me out. Like, and then it'd just be like, well, fuck it. Like, he said it, then let's do it.
Time to go.
So it, you know, it was just, it just was the way it was.
It was very memorable, though. It's not like that, you know, anymore. I mean, shows are still fun. Like, kids get fucking crazy, but
no, that's good, man. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking shit on kids for not beating each other's fucking heads in, because, bro, if you had to grow up the way that I grew up, it ain't right, man. I had to move out here to get my shit together. Like, by 2008, I was ready to fucking kill myself. Like, and that's just real. Like, I was going nowhere. Here I am, Captain fucking Straight Edge, lost my job. I'm homeless. I'm fucking couch surfing. I'm sleeping in Walmart parking lots in my truck. Like, I had beef with everybody. I had to watch my back all the fucking time. I had to stay strapped up constantly. Because we were in more shit than just fucking hardcore shit. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I know you want to touch on it. Like, crew shit is crew shit. So, and you know, I'll say, for me, I treated it more like a gang than a lot of kids did. And you know what I mean? I grew up around gangbangers, so that's how I knew how to act. So, I mean, from a young age, like, you know, there was a young folk gang that was around me that I used to hang out with, because, man, I was getting abused left and right by older people, by kids, by everything. So it was the only thing that ever made me feel safe, man. My parents didn't take care of me. So the only love that I knew in life was gang love, was these kids that were like, hey, man, like, do this, and we love you. So that's what I grew up with. And then by the time, you know, coming up with Spit and that, like, I made those guys. Like, I've just been de facto trying to fill in a spot in my life with love that wasn't real. And Not to mean that like I don't have good friends and like my friends don't love me and don't take care of me, but like, dude, those spit kids weren't into what I was into. Like they weren't trying to do gang shit. And like, so, by 97, I made my own crew because I was like, man, fuck this. Like I heard about Courage Crew in 96 and was just like, yo, a straight edge gang. That's the coolest shit I've ever heard. Like, I want to do that. So I started this thing called the FTC. So we started going to shows, and going to Detroit shows as a Flint kid was a fucking was kind of a no-no. Like, Detroit people didn't like Flint people. And to this day, like, like going to St. Andrews Hall on club night and stuff like that, they find out you're from Flint, man, there's some beef. It was just that way. Like, people had beef with Flint people. So I used to fucking fly it as hard as I could. That's why everybody called me Zac from Flint, because anything that came out of my mouth, I would just be like, yeah, I'm from fucking Flint. And so I started this thing called the FTC, which was the Flint Town Crazies. There was a few of us. It was me and, probably my best friend at the time, Rodney, Whitey Morgan, the fucking country star now. His name was Eric Allen.
Shit.
We used to, yeah. We used to kick it all the time. We lived in the same neighborhood. We owned houses in the same neighborhood and shit. And my friend Brian, we started going to shows, like, and I would yell Flint Town in between every song, just being obnoxious and just trying to let people know that we're there. And then, once Dave and I started, getting gang tattoos on our faces and shit, like, I was going to put Flint on there because I was never going to fucking tuck tail. I was never going to not say I wasn't from there. Because there was a time, it was like about 98, 97, 98, like, shit just kind of died off. Like, shows were still going on, but shit just kind of died off a little bit, especially for me. Spit broke up. They started doing some other stuff like Slag 13, which was pretty fucking cool. It's like an offbeat band. And then they were kind of doing some emo stuff. Like Kid Brother Collective came out of that, which was a great band. Love those dudes. But like, it wasn't the same thing. And, I was doing the gang shit. I ended up at a media play in Saginaw, and I started a fucking giant fight at a Kid Brother show and ended up getting fucking hemmed up for a second in a cop car.
Damn.
Like, I was just, so I've just been trying to replace that for a long time, man. And it's hard. Like, I'll admit it, like, it's hard to be my friend. It was hard to be around me. It was hard because I'd test you all the time. I would get into shit all the time. It didn't fucking matter, man. We could be at a grocery store. And I remember seeing a skinhead at a grocery store and just fucking getting at it there in the fucking beer aisle, because I knew where he was going. Like, it didn't matter, man. I lived what I talked about. And that's all I tried to ever do. And like, I wanted to show the people around me that I was serious, and that I was a dude that could be counted on for anything, man. Bro, I'll tell you, I probably moved Dave more from house to house than me and him had been in fights together. And that's a ton. So like, anytime that guy called, like, I would help him out with anything, and like, that was one of the things I tried to do. And so, just coming up, the FTC thing, and then like everything kind of taking a break. Some younger kids from Flint came back to a tattoo shop that we used to hang out at, and they were kind of, I don't know, they were kind of messed up a little bit, and kind of talking about, man, we went to this show down at the shelter, and these guys were, it was some fucking GLHC kids trying to say that fucking Flint kids aren't welcome. And I mean, I knew the original GLHC kids, it was fucking Chris Holland and those kids. And I hadn't been to a show in, I don't know, probably 2 years. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what did you do? Like, did you fucking get these guys or what? And it's just like, no, man, like, it was too many of them. And I was like, well, fuck that. Like, I'm going back. Like, we're going back. We went to some Converge show and I fucking confronted those guys. Like, I've known Chris Holland a long ass time. So, you know, he didn't know who he was talking to. And I don't think he realized that, like, what that was going to do. So, you know, I confronted those guys and they kind of tried to threaten me with Dave a little bit, which I thought was funny. Cause I was just like, yo, do you even fucking realize that, like, I've known that kid since 95? And, you know, Dave showed up to the show and we fucking hugged. I mean, what the fuck else is it supposed to be, man? I shed blood with this dude. Like, and then
It's like sounds like a reunion after a few years. You not like going to shows and shit.
Man. I mean, and then, you know, then I got involved with Courage Crew.
That was already formed up here, like before you came back.
Yeah, Dave got Dave and Scotty got tags back in 97 or 98. They were with Courage Crew then. They were going down to Ohio and hanging out with those guys for a little bit, but then, like, Courage Crew itself wasn't really that organized. So, like, there was this dude named Benny that was just giving out tags, and I don't, you know, you'd have to get that story from Dave and Scotty. I mean, I know bits and pieces of it, but I don't know if they got their tags from Benny or not. I don't think they did, but yeah, they got their tags and then we didn't hear shit from them. Like, I got my tags in 2000, 2001. Matt was already in the military, and I think it was 2000. And yeah, I never met any Courage Crew guy from Ohio. We met him at a show. I mean, they came out for an Earth Crisis show one time in like 97, I want to say, and we're like they were trying to pit boss it a little bit, trying to act a little tough. And I remember Lenny was wearing a fucking ski mask, running around fucking drunk and just kicking them in the face. And like, we were just fucking running all over those guys, and they'd never seen anything like it. So they were, you know, we were outside exchanging numbers and shit after that. But yeah, Courage Crew I was kind of like second wave, to be honest with you. Like, the original guys, like, there was only a few of them. There was never many of us. There was only like 11 Detroit Courage Crew guys.
Yeah, but everybody knew who you guys were, though. X is all over fucking everything.
Well, you know, we brought the hip hop to hardcore.
Yeah.
We were all in tall tees and fucking big chains and doing our thing.
I remember that shit. I thought, like, just like shirts with like the whole fucking chest. It's just a giant X. Like, obviously, that's you guys. That's fucking awesome. Especially like one of those Tyrant, like, fucking promo photos. They were all wearing them, but I think you all had them.
Yeah.
Fucking rolling deep though. No, that shit was fun though, man. Like, when you guys were around, it was always a good time. Like, show wise, you know, like there's never really any like too much shit. Like, it all got dealt with fucking pretty quick if there was, you know, because you guys had already handled business before I started showing up. Like, you know.
Well, that was kind of the thing, man. It's like, people don't understand that I mean, it's like hockey. I mean, if you look at hockey, we'll use hockey. Like, back in the day, man, when teams had goons, like, people didn't do dirty shit. So you didn't have a bunch of dirty shit happening around town. So you didn't have dirty shit happening at shows because they knew who they were going to have to deal with. And it was just kind of that way. We policed ourselves. Any place, this is the thing this is what sucked. Okay. This is what sucked about my lifestyles. I got kicked out of everywhere. There is not, bro, you talk about Harpo's like it's like the craziest place in the world. I can tell you straight up, Dave and I got banned from there for life. We're not even allowed in Harpo's. I wasn't even allowed in the fucking parking lot.
Damn.
They would come outside and just tell me, bro, you gotta go. Like, because that place is wild. You know what I mean? Like, and you've even said it, like, that place is wild, but like, so we get wild.
It takes a lot to get banned from Harpo's. That's all I can say.
And we got banned a long time ago. And like, fuck that place. Like, I don't want to be there anyways. Like, that place is a fucking mess. Like, a friend of mine got stuck up out there. Be walking around at 2 a.m, seeing people pushing baby carriages around and shit.
It's a fucked up
yeah,
area.
Man, that neighborhood's fucking crazy. Like, I don't want to go to fucking shows there. No. But I wasn't allowed to anyways. I mean, I wasn't allowed in the machine shop. I got kicked out of the fucking machine shop. I mean,
that's hometown too. Shit.
Oh yeah, man. I even work for those guys. The Zink brothers are fucking assholes. Fuck that.
Shit, man.
Like, whatever on that.
That's all,
dude.
and like after all the crew shit, like, a lot of those, I think it's good to have like a good group of friends anyway, whether you call it a crew or not. Like, and those were your boys regardless, right? Like, and it's just good to have
and that's the other thing too, is like, we weren't all a bunch of knuckleheads. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, like, I talk shit and like I'm busting John's balls, but like, if I wouldn't have had a lot of those guys around me, bro, I'd be dead. That's a guarantee. Or I'd be in fucking prison. I don't know how I'm not.
Yeah.
I have no idea how. But like, dudes like Matt and John and like, and the Flint dudes, because we had some Flint Courage Crew guys, and like, I mean, if it wasn't for those guys around me, like, I was a fucking unguided missile. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't be here. That's a guarantee. And I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but that's why I went the way I went. Like, that's why I went as crazy as I went half the fucking time, because I knew I had like a base of people that would keep me under control. And I also just wanted to fucking do the best I could for those guys. And sorry to say, but being obnoxious was the best thing I could do. Like, 9 times out of 10, all I'm trying to do is make people laugh. I mean,
it's fucking scary though.
My sense of humor is a little fucking different than a lot of people. So,
like, wasn't it funny that somebody got hit with the chair? That's not funny.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Like, it's all good times. Like, you knew what the fuck was going to happen. Anybody who was there at one of those shows, if you didn't know, then you found out pretty fast.
And that's, Detroit had a kind of a weight about it anyways. So, I can remember probably the best story to kind of set the way that Detroit shows was, I'm not going to name any names. There was a bigger band in town, very popular hardcore band with a very outspoken singer who decided to be walking around at a show. And at the time, I was a little bit newer in Detroit Courage Crew, so I wasn't the heavy hitter at the time. There was another dude ahead of me that I used to follow. And he was having a disagreement with a couple of people. And he was talking to them. And this singer decided to come up and butt in and put his 2 cents in and try and be like, hey, come on, man. Like, it's all cool. It's all hardcore. And I remember this dude that I was behind turned around and spit in his face and told him, if you don't shut your fucking mouth, you won't leave here. And that was Detroit. That was Detroit hardcore. Like, that was Detroit in general. Like, mind your fucking business. And that's how we treated it. I hear a lot of people talk, and this is the thing, like, I'm weird. Like, I was in no bands. Like, I had nothing to fucking promote. I don't have anything to, you know what I mean? Like, this was just our life. This was just what we did. Like, hardcore was hardcore wasn't even completely my life. Like straight edge wasn't even completely my life, but like my reputation was my life. So, I mean, this was it. Like, and if you're going to make it, like you make it in the worst fucking spot you can. So, you know, I mean, even when shit got kind of boring, I mean, even when shit kind of settled the fuck down, Dave got a job at fucking St. Andrews Hall working club night. So guess what? I got a job at fucking St. Andrews Hall working club night. Like, and club night is infamous. Bro, I can't tell you how many people I saw die outside that motherfucker. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was wild. It was a wild fucking time. And that's just what we did, because it was like, yo, what's the new thing? Because I'm not going to be chasing you around at 16 fucking years old, like trying to prove to you how I'm tough. Like, that ain't bringing up the reputation. That just makes me look like a punk. And I wasn't trying to be no punk. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting that you can admit that like, you knew, you know, you just wanted like the reputation.
Absolutely.
That's an
I'm like,
ego thing, and well, that you recognize it now, and like you know, you grow and understand, like, you know, that's all crazy nonsense for the most
I'm
part.
not,
you know,
I'm not even, dude. I'm not even half that anymore. I'm 42 years old.
No,
I got
man.
a 4-year-old son. I'm a barber. Like, I've been out here, bro. I haven't been in a fight in 8, 9 years.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm right there with you.
I haven't. You know what I mean? I'm old and grumpy, and like, I get pissed off in traffic. Like, I'm not. You know it. I hate to make it sound like I'm glorifying what it was, because I got to tell you, man, like, it was fun, but I also knew that like I was going to die. I knew that like this wasn't going to lead to something well. And I've been in a lot of, you know, I've been in cars that have been shot up, you know, I've been stabbed. I was in a building that got lit on fire. Bro, I've survived I got hit by a car one time by a bunch of dudes that didn't want to get out and fight. They just decided they were going to try and kill me with a car. Like, in the middle of a fucking neighborhood that I shouldn't have been in, fucking with a hockey temper, trying to fucking show my nuts, man, trying to be Barney badass. And bro, by the grace of something, I don't know what the fuck it was, but I survived. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
Yeah,
But I
that's
did.
a good thing, man.
You know, now, yeah, you know, I can look at it now and say that, like, when I left, you know, and John can attest for this, man, because I talked to John like right before I left. I was at a Sleeping Giant show, and man, I was in a bad place. I was in a real bad place, and I pulled John aside, and I was just like, dude, I'm leaving. I'm like, I'm out of here. I got to get out of here. If I don't get the fuck out of here, I'm just gonna blow my brains out. Like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It just, like, I was to the end, man, and I didn't have enough balls to ask anybody for help. Like, I got in all this crew shit, and you know, I got the shit tattooed on my face, but bro, I didn't have enough balls to ask people for help. Like, I just sleep in my truck, because I was miserable. I was a miserable fucking human being. And you know, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that fucking hardcore saved my life, because I don't believe that fucking hardcore saved my life. Because whatever. But meeting the people that I did out here in Salt Lake, I mean, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Like, next to my son, you know, before my son being born, like, they saved my life. And you know, these are, you know, the guys that I met out here were, you know, supposed to be like the crazy psychos and you know, the wild dudes out here. They're the sweetest fucking human beings, and like opened their house to me, and like took me in on holidays and shit, and opened their families to me, and opened their houses, gave me a place to fucking live, you know, found me jobs and shit. Like, it saved my fucking life, man. That shit was tough. It gave me the opportunity to grow. You know, I'm in fucking, you know, I got therapy. Like, I'm in a different place now. And it's great. You know, I don't miss hardcore. I don't miss throwing chairs at people, and I don't miss being the fucking hardcore boogeyman. I don't miss crossing paths with people and knowing that they're not, you know, that we're not good, and God knows what the fuck could happen tonight. Because there's a lot, dude. There's a lot of those people, you know, and it's a lot of big people. You know, Dave was, and this is gonna sound fucking crazy, but Dave was a lot friendlier than I was most of the time. Dave had a lot of friends, man. Dave kept me even keeled most of the fucking time. Like, he would chill shit out, and he would tell me I needed to shut the fuck up and chill out, and you know, and go the fuck outside, and like, no, we're not doing that, or what the fuck is wrong with you? Sometimes, like, Dave would turn it on a dime, because he knew that I was just trying to show out, and would get into shit with people just to get into shit. And you know, it would blow people's fucking minds to hear our conversations these days, because like, Dave and I have come so fucking far, and like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, because a lot of people got a lot of fucking weird shit to say, but like, you know, Dave and I are closer than we've ever been. And if I ever needed anything, I could hit that dude up. You know, when I had my son, like, he was one of the first people I called. It's we've been through a lot of shit, man. A lot of shit.
Yeah.
And
that is crazy though. But like, you know, you'd mentioned like the therapy, and even, you know, before that, are you making the choice and like just to get the fuck out of the environment you were in was like what could have saved your life ultimately, you know. If you didn't do that, who
yeah.
the fuck knows? And how did you decide what is like, I'm gonna go to fucking Salt Lake City? Like, is a family out there, or?
Well, so there, with Courage Crew being a national crew, you meet people all over the place.
Okay, so
I knew
you're
some guys in
still
California.
involved?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I didn't give up my tags till 2010. So I met some guys from California. I met Death Star, and weird fucking Christian kids, like super uber, like, pray on you, heal you Christian kids. And man, I don't know if it was just because I looked like a fucking charity case or what, but they fucking like me. And you know, I would talk to those dudes a lot. And one of the guys in the band is a dude named Tommy Green. And Tommy and I met Tommy first time out at one of the Face Down Fests that it was actually Death Star's last show. And he's the singer from Sleeping Giant. And just got to talking to him, man. And through him, he introduced me to the Fords, and I met Blake and Richard Ford first. And Blake's a singer from Crow Killer, and Richard played bass in Aftermath of a Train Wreck. Blake played drums in Aftermath. So, you know, we all got our hardcore ties, but met those guys and just got to talking to them. And in 2006, 2007, Tyrant ended up playing a show out here. So it came out. I came out a few days before and hung out, and it was absolute chaos. The show couldn't have gone worse. I mean, unless there was a gunfight and a giant fist fight. It was horrible. The groups of people that got together didn't really click together, so things were just kind of hairy. And I mean, it was so bad that the band Tyrant had taken off. Like, Tyrant went, and they were kind of doing a little bit of a West Coast tour. When Tyrant left, I was by myself, and I was looking up on MapQuest. That's how fucking long ago this was. looking up on fucking MapQuest on how to walk to the airport from this dude's house that I was staying at, because I figured these guys were just going to fuck me up. And because I was by myself. And like, what people don't know about Salt Lake is the deepest rolling city I've ever seen in my life. There are so many fucking straight edge kids out here. It's insane. It's insane. And at that time, everybody was still pretty tight. So, I mean, they would have house parties and there would be 60 kids at the house and they were all straight edge kids.
Damn.
Like, it's insane out here. So I was backed in I was just in the corner the whole night. I actually backed myself in the kitchen over by the kitchen knives just in case. So I thought, well, at least I could have a little bit of a fighting chance. And the crazy thing is I ended up getting along with them. Like, nothing happened. I wasn't gonna let them, treat me like shit or talk shit about my friends and my family back in Michigan. But I got along with those dudes, and they were stand-up guys. And so then by 2009, everything was just so fucking bad. And I was kind of getting involved in some shit I shouldn't have been getting involved in. And at 30 years old, I was just like, yo, I need to get the fuck out of here. Richard had become like my best friend on the phone and was just like, yo, just move out here. So I packed up what I could. I bought a topper for my truck. It was like $80. I filled that topper and whatever else I couldn't fucking fill from the storage unit that I had all my shit sitting in, I just threw it away. And I moved out here with no job, no idea what the fuck I was going to do. I was scared to death. I was bawling my eyes out. I didn't know what the fuck to do, man. I was scared to death because I'd never known anything else but Flint. And so I just moved out here, and it was fucking scary. Scariest fucking, dude, I'll tell you straight up, bro, scariest fucking thing I ever did. And I mean, yeah. I've been in some house parties that ended in some standoffs that were pretty crazy, but this is the scariest fucking thing I ever did, man. Because I was taking my own life in my hands, and instead of doing something negative, I was doing something positive. And that was, bro, that's tough shit to do.
Yeah, especially
where we're from.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Like,
like
a lot of people don't get out of there, out of Flint.
Well, and it's just, bro, I'm the last generation of kid that thought he was going to live or work at GM, like, and it didn't happen. So, coming out of school, like, I only went to high school because I didn't want to be home because my dad was just beating my ass. So I just went to school because it was peaceful and I could get food. So I would just chill at high school. But I mean, I graduated with a 1.3. I barely got the fuck out of there. Like, I didn't do anything in school. Like, I didn't care. I didn't think I was going to college. I never went to college. Like, I didn't think I was going to be anybody. I thought I was going to be a bum. So, I just got I just got it popping. I just did what I did, and tried to figure it out. And to walk away, it felt like, man, all these years of me really kind of put myself in front of people in bad situations, to walk away from it, it really broke my heart, man. And I did probably the biggest coward move I've ever done in my life, man. I didn't even tell Dave I was leaving. And man, that broke his heart. And I felt bad about that because, dude, we were tight as fuck, but I didn't have the balls to tell him because I knew that if he told me not to go, I wouldn't have gone, but I knew I had to go. And it was tough. It's tough, man. I didn't talk to Dave I didn't talk to him for a while. And then all this internal Courage Crew bullshit happened. Just ended up fucking quitting. I was like, this is dumb. This is fucking stupid. Like, what's the point? Like, I have a bunch of people trying to tell me how to live. I'm fucking homeless. Like, you guys are not helping anybody. So I fucking help myself.
Hey, hats off, man. That's the biggest thing you could do. And knowing the path you were on anyway, like we've all like had some decisions to make, but I've never had to do anything like that. You know, mine was fucking minor decisions compared to, you know, knowing you have to move across the country just to fucking save your own life, or you make a better life, or fucking just something different than what you were doing regardless. So it takes a lot of courage, man. You
Well,
know?
it's weird, man. It's weird, man, because like Detroit was changing. Like Detroit was changing for the better, you know, and like going to shows and stuff were getting better. Like I was a dinosaur. I was starting to be Beast. I was starting to be like some old Goonie motherfucker wandering around with fucking wearing leopard print, like, you know, looking goofy at shows. Like I didn't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like Tom was scary as fuck when we were little, but dude, he got fucking older, and it was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And I started to become that, and I didn't want to be that. Like, there's no, I want to be the old guy. You know, I go to shows now every once in a while out here, and I'm in the back. I just stand in the back, man. I'm just chilling out with older guys from out here, and just talking about, man, I should be at home in bed more than anything, because it. I don't know, man. I got out of there when Detroit was starting to change for the better. Flint was starting to get worse. The murder rate in Flint in 2008 went through the roof. It was fucking insane. And I was, you know what I mean? I was hanging out with the King kids all the time. Like we were just kicking it all the time. And like I knew it was getting bad when the only thing that I had to look forward to was going to the gym, and our gym closed. So it was just like, man, there's nothing to do in this city but just fucking die. I mean, that's it. I mean, you got an unemployment rate at 39%, and that's people that were looking for fucking jobs that just got laid off. So, I mean, 50% of the city is looking for a job. 75% of the city's underneath the poverty line. Bro, it was nasty. It was nasty as fuck out here.
Was water already fucked
so
up then?
No, the water didn't get fucked up till 2012.
Okay, yeah, I remember. I knew it was, but you know, it wasn't. Yeah.
But the thing is the last apartment that I lived in was $125 a month. Gunshots every fucking night, and you couldn't drink the water. The water came out the color of that door behind you. Like it was the nastiest shit in the world. You couldn't even use the fucking bathroom. Like I pissed out a window. Like it was fucking crazy, man. Like it was nasty as fuck. Like, and you know, Dave Gunn and those guys were coming up and kind of doing their thing and like trying to get the King thing going. And those guys were on a path that I just couldn't hang with anymore. If I was 20 again, I'd be dead or I'd be in prison. You know, those dudes went through a lot, and I couldn't do it. And I, you know, I'm man enough to admit that. It's, you know, I see a lot of people try and lie about who they are or what they do, or fucking face tattoos, this and that. And bro, I'm man enough to admit that I got tired. I got tired of fucking trying to do this shit. And the Flint beef is crazy because you can get shot anywhere. It's only 6 square miles. So you run into people that don't like you everywhere. So, man, the deeper fucking Flint beef gets, man, the closer you're coming to catching one. It's just that way. So I just didn't see anything else to do, you know, and it took a lot of coaxing, man. It took a lot of, I tried to go to church. I tried a lot of shit. Which was funny, like me trying to go to church. Here I am, fucking Captain Straight Edge, and I walk into these places and they're treating me like I'm a fucking junkie, trying to give me hot soup and a fucking blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm good. I'm good. I don't do drugs, bitch.
Yeah, talking about fucking no, I'm addicted to chaos. I'm not addicted to fucking heroin.
Yeah.
But so yeah, man, I came out here, and dude, I met some of the best people I've ever met, and they're not. I don't think they knew what they were doing. You know, they're just good people. So, I mean, you know, Richard Ford and his older brother Jack and fucking Jake Miller and those guys, like, dude, I owe those guys everything.
Shout out to those
Because
guys. Shit, man.
yeah, those guys made sure that, you know, I made the transition because it was tough. I didn't know socially how fucked up I was until I came out here. Like I couldn't sit still. I had to always be looking at the door. I always had to be fucking sitting towards the door, looking at, you know, cars drive by. I'd stop fucking talking. Everybody was like, yo, you're weird. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we'd be standing in line for something, and I'd be like, hey, man, back up. Like, telling people, like, they're too close. Get away, man, back up. And they just were like, man, what is with you? And I had a bunch of fucking social stigmas that just were really weird that, you know, I didn't realize it, but I found out, you know, it's post-traumatic stress. You
Yeah.
just,
It's not weird though. It's you know, it's just fucking hard. Just hard. You know what you went through and how you know, lived your life for a long time, just full of chaos. It's almost like prison or like war, you know, like you know, when you come out of
yeah.
it, when you go into
I
like
mean,
something
well,
normal, it's like this is fucking normal. Like I'm used to fucked up shit. You know, so
I
to
mean,
consider anything else from Salt Lake City to Flint, like that's different
it was
worlds.
it was a huge transition, man. But I'll tell you, you know, if you talk to anybody that'll be honest to you, I'm a lot different than I used to be. You know, I'm not trying to start a bunch of shit. I'm not trying to live some crazy fucking life. Like, I'm just trying to raise a good kid. I'm trying to raise a fucking real human being. And it's hard because the thing you learn when you have kids is the only way to raise a good human being is you have to be one. You have to show them. You can't tell them. You can't tell a kid shit. You can't tell them anything. You have to show them. So I got to get up every day and hustle, man. I got to hustle like a motherfucker and get up and work my ass off because, dude, I don't ever want my kid to. I don't even know if I want him to know most of the shit. I want him. I want him to have. I want him to have my resiliency of just being able to battle through anything. I mean, that's the one thing that you get, like the positive thing you get from Flint is the only thing we ever competed in is who could live worse. So we fucking we call it living low. Like everything's low. So that's just what we called it all the time. So everything's low. You're low. This is low. This place is low. So we're just very resilient. So when the opportunity comes of like, dude, like this pandemic, you know, my wife she's she she was nervous, man. She grew up out here and she was nervous. And I was like, babe, I lived through fucking September 11th. I've lived through fucking 2008. Like, I've lived through Flint for many years, for up to 30, 30 years of in and out of Flint. Like, we can make it. It's, we just gotta bite down and do it. Like, and that's
That's
all,
great.
that's all I've ever known. So it's tough, man. You know, I'm in a good place now, which is it's hard to say. It's hard to be positive because, a lot of people saw me as a negative human being doing a lot of negative things. And I love that negativity, but I'm in a good place. Like, I'm not scared to say that either. Like,
No, you should be proud. Like the shit you
it's
did.
hard, man, because here's the deal. All right. The reason why it's hard to say I'm in a good place is because I have to admit that I have worth. I have to say that I have good self-worth. Like, I didn't grow up with self-esteem. I didn't grow up with negative self-esteem or positive. I grew up to die. My parents didn't raise a normal human being. They didn't raise anything. Like, they turned me fucking loose, and I learned from everybody around me. And I had some positive influences on me, but nobody will ever fucking influence you like your parents did. That shit sticks. You know what I mean? And I was watching my dad fist fight in his fucking 60s. And I don't want to be that asshole. It's fucking stupid.
Like, you're right though. But I can agree though.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I saw my dad fight a guy outside of fucking Autorama in the fucking parking lot in his 60s. So
I believe it. Like, I mean, I could agree because my dad was the same fucking way. Like, he died when he was 50, but like as I was a younger kid, one of the last games at Tiger Stadium, I don't know what year that was, maybe 2000, 2001, 99.
Yeah.
I think it was the second to last game. They didn't have no more ice for ice and like in like your drink or whatever. And he almost got in a fist fight with the fucking lady because there was no ice. He's screaming at her, fucking slammed his drink down. Yeah. It was me and my 5-year-old cousin. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? So, you know, like not to do that same shit, you know, like my dad was good overall, but he had a really bad fucking temper. So that rubbed off on me. That's deep inside me, you know, the temper. So, yeah, I've done my own work on myself, you know, trying to be better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here, you know, my old man's dead. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on him. He did what he did, you know what I mean? And can I say he did the best he knew? Maybe, I guess. I don't know. My grandfather's dead. I don't know what the fuck he did to him. So he wasn't into me until I got older. Like, he tried to fucking guide me a little bit when I got older, but dude, by the time I was in my 20s, there was no guiding me. There was, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ship had sailed. Like, I was doing what I was fucking doing. You know, my mom was crazy as fuck. My mom's still alive somewhere. I don't know. I haven't talked to her fucking 20 years. And she was fucking psychotic. Like, she lost her shit. And I get it, man. I'm not going to get on here and fucking boo-hoo me because I had bad parents. But like, it fucking shines through now, being a dad. Like, I can't understand it. I can't understand how people could do what was done to me. I can't understand it. And it's weird that, you know, we're in a hardcore podcast and we're talking about this, but this is what life is.
For sure.
You know, this is, you know, I hear people sing a lot of lyrics and wear a lot of shirts, but do they live that shit? Probably fucking not. Like, I grew up the way I grew up, and I handled things the best way I knew how to. And it ended up me throwing chairs at fucking people and you know, and fucking getting wild and getting thrown out of 90% of the venues. And I mean, Jesus Christ, I couldn't even get in the Fillmore anymore. Like, I got thrown out of that nice place. Like, I never got thrown out of Joe Louis Arena. I never got thrown out of Cobo. I'll tell you
that. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Well, no good shows there. No, I'm playing. But like, I was gonna say something, but I fucking forgot. It doesn't matter anyway, man. But just even though all your life turmoil, like your real life turmoil, you finding hardcore, you had some sort of influence on you. Like, I'm sure your life could have been a lot worse if you didn't, you know, go to hardcore shows. Do you think, or like the positivity, like the brotherhood you had there, you know, because you can be in real deep fucking gang shit if you weren't at shows, right? Like shooting people.
100%. Yeah. And bro, I'll be honest with you. Like, I mean, we talk about Detroit and that, but like, Spit had a huge influence on me. And like, you know, Wes Keeley, who was the drummer, he ended up playing drums for Earth Mover, and then he was the original drummer for Walls of Jericho. Okay. And that was the first dude to ever even tell me what straight edge was. I didn't know what that shit was. I didn't know what fucking minor threat was. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like I was into skate punk shit and you know, the Dead Kennedys and stuff like that. Like I didn't give a shit about that stuff. And like Dan, you know, Dan Coburn had a huge influence on me, man. I looked up to these guys. Like, and they were, it was kind of crazy because like they were nice to me, you know, and there wasn't a lot of people in my life that were nice to me. So like, sorry to say, I'm like a fucking gutter dog. You give me a little bit of food, you know, I won't go away. So I kept fucking hanging around. But the problem is like, I don't know how to act socially. I'd bite people. Like, I just didn't know how to act. And like, I would take any slight of disrespect as a fucking reason to punch your fucking teeth out. Like, I just would. And it got that way, you know, it all continued with Courage Crew. Like, I bought into Courage Crew 100% because I was like, yo, this is my giant family. And this is my chance to show the world, like, that I fucking love these guys and I'll die for them. And you know, and we got into some national stuff and with some other letters, you know, some other letter crews that whatever, you know, but you know, the thing is too, is like you're talking about the crew stuff. Like I knew Joe Hardcore. That guy was cool as fuck. Like he'd come around. I knew him when he was in FSU. Like we didn't have beef like that. I knew a lot of the East Coast, like a few of the, you know, I wouldn't say a lot, but I knew a few of the FSU guys, like some of the Boston guys and that, like those guys were always cool. I'm not a big fan of fucking California. I'll just put it like that. I'm not going to say whether it's crew stuff or not. I'm not a fan. And they're not a fan of me. And we tolerate each other as much as we can because we also know that if, you know, if shit pops off, it's going to be a fucking national war. There's a 4-letter crew that I don't give. I don't care about. Like those guys came around when shit was not popping off anymore. Like those guys were trying to fight Courage Crew guys that were 15 years older than them and weren't fighting anymore. So that's a joke. And to see like crews popping up in in Detroit now, like it's a joke, dude. That's corny. That's corny shit, man. Where were you when shit was popping off? Where were you when you should have been representing your stuff? Like, you know what I mean? I've had friends in every crew. I got friends in DMS. Like, real people recognize real people, and like this dude, this corny fake shit now is weird. It's just weird, man. Like there was I got a younger kid out here sent me something that he had hacked off of some other guy's phone of a code of conduct. Like they actually wrote out a code of conduct, like how to be a real person.
That's cute.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like you got to take martial arts and be a good dude and fight when your friends fight. Like, dude, this is shit that was unspoken. If you weren't that, you weren't hanging around. Like, when did it get to the point where you have to write it down to be a good dude? Dude,
Yeah,
you think, like, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't get people trying to be violent. I don't understand. Like, you're either violent or you're not. Like, if it's not in you, don't be. Dude, you think John was fighting at shows? You ever seen John fight at a fucking show?
no.
Like, I love John.
Yeah.
John wasn't fighting in no fucking shows. I saw John punch one guy one time. And it was warranted. It was very warranted. And to be honest with you, he should have done a lot worse. But it was John. You know, John's got to keep them hands clean. He's a chiropractor. Got to pop them bones.
You're just talking shit. John, we love you. We love you, John. Nicest guy.
No, I fuck with him just because, I know he was on here. But man, a lot of those guys, dude, like, people would fight at shows, but they didn't need to. I didn't need a bunch of people fighting around me. I'd fight. Dave and I didn't need people to fucking fight our fights. We fought them just fine. Just fine. We did just fine. We just wanted good dudes around us. Like, that's all I ever wanted. I just want to stand up people around me. I don't understand people in their fucking crew life bullshit and trying to look tough, and man, fuck all that. Like, you're never gonna do it. If you gotta prop it up like that, you gotta put it on t-shirts and shit, it ain't you. Just let it be.
Yeah, that's some like, you know, the young-minded, like egotistical shit that, you know, like growing up today, you, anybody else who you mentioned, like they all know, like it's like, what am I doing that for? Or what was I doing that for? And if you're still 40, 50 years old, like doing that, like, come on now, you know?
Bro, I'll tell you this right now. You want to do something hard? You want to do the hardest thing in the world? You want to be the toughest motherfucker in the world? Be a good human being. You know how hard it is to be a good fucking human being? A real good human being. Like a dude that says something and will stand by it. Like, man, fuck having hope, man. Be fucking hope. Being fucking hope is hard as fuck. Being something somebody can look up to is hard as fuck. Being a pile of shit from Flint was fucking easy. All I had to do was walk out the door. All I had to do was walk out the door, dog, and there was something to get into. Like, I didn't have to look for it, you know? And dude, there's a lot of fucking people that treated me like shit back in the day. And like, I don't see those guys doing anything good. I don't see those guys trying to help anybody out. I saw, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of big guys in hardcore that I've seen talk a lot of shit, but don't do nothing for nobody. What, help out fucking hardcore? Fuck hardcore. Why not help the fucking world? Help your neighborhood. How about that? How about that shit? Help your neighbor. Help your friends. Fuck hardcore. Hardcore's, dude, hardcore's whatever. It's music, dog. It's not even a lifestyle anymore. It's just music, man. It's a fun place for kids to get together, collect fucking records, and have cool t-shirts. Like, and it's a reminiscent of what it is, man. Hardcore now is what fucking, dude, when we used to see crust punks walking around in the 90s, we were like, dude, this is a fucking time warp. What are you doing?
Yeah, but I mean, even in like the earlier 2000s, like 2004, 2005, like there's nothing for me to fight for. Like all that shit was already taken care of. Like in the early 90s and shit for you guys, like,
and that's the thing, is you were building,
I wasn't trying to prove myself, but I thought I had something to prove, you know?
No, and you were getting fucked up and fighting outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were
acting like an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
just a knucklehead.
Dude,
you know, there's nothing to fight for.
That's fine, man. You're making your bones, you're doing your thing, but you were building your community.
No.
You know what I mean? But this is the thing, is like your community was already built for you. You got to come to hardcore. Like it was there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I just had to pay for it and I was allowed in. Yeah.
Dude, you just had to, all you had to do was get online and see that there was a show. You know, and that's cool. Like I'm not trying to play it down, but it's like, dude, you can be anything. You can get up every day now and be anything. You can do anything. And it's great. Like you could be a fucking crust punk kid tomorrow. You could be a hardcore kid. Yo, you could give a shit that fucking, you know, who was it? Daft Punk broke up. You could give a shit about all that stuff. You could do anything. Like, and it's fucking rad. In 90, you know what I mean? In 95, we got behind a militant movement of fucking straight edge that was basically our proving ground. And we proved ourselves. And it was, you know, it's even weird for me to still see Earth Crisis fucking playing shows. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I get it. Like, everybody's doing reunion shows and that's cool. But, you know, those aren't the reunion shows I want to see. I'd rather see fucking Strong Arm play a goddamn reunion show, or fucking Coalesce. I want to see Earth Crisis again. I want to see Fat Carl. I don't need to see that shit, man. Like,
I always said vegans can't be fat. Vegans can't be fat.
Hey, yo, I'll tell you, like my, you know, and this is the oldest bullshit joke in the world is straight edge kids and us talking shit on vegans. And I'm not going to talk shit on vegans, but the first vegan I ever met was a dude from Detroit, and he was a fat kid, and his name was Vegan Phil, and we always asked him, how the fuck can you be vegan?
Would eat the whole farm? Yeah.
but no, I talk. See, that's what I do, man. I talk shit.
Come on, no, the busting balls. You're still allowed to do that.
I talk shit. I can't help it. But yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. I love this stuff, but like, you know, one of the things I could tell you that I really like about this podcast is you've stumbled into some shit that I don't think you ever thought you would. And that's real conversations, you know. Bro, I'll tell you straight up, like, I broke down crying when Jeff G was talking, because I mean, that guy's going through hell. I couldn't imagine losing a kid.
Fuck no,
you
dude.
know what I'm saying? Or like,
yeah,
listening to fucking Lenny talk about, because bro, I knew Lenny when Lenny was the strongest frontman I ever saw in my life. Like, that man got us so fired up that it was, dude, he was an explosion on stage, and it was great. And like, to hear him now talk about like going over to war and going through the shit he had to go through, and now, you know, trying to fight to be better is fucking amazing. And like, and I know you're gonna have a lot of podcasts where you just talk to people about bands, and that shit's cool. And I really appreciate that, like, you even had me on, because I don't have no fucking band. I ain't nobody. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a dad and a barber. That's all I am. And I'm trying to be a good partner. 2 divorces later, I'm trying to be a decent partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think you stumbled onto something, man. And I think if you know how to navigate this, you figure out how to navigate this, man, you're gonna have some conversations that are pretty fucking crazy, that are deep, meaningful, because, you know, I'm an oddity. You're not going to meet a lot of people in life that have risked everything to live what they believe. You know, you'll meet a lot of people in life that maneuver and try and work their way through life the easiest way they can, the path of least resistance, you know, and kind of dip their toe here and there. Man, I didn't dip my toe, man. I jumped straight in. And, you know, like I said before, like, I was not an easy person to be around, but I also tested every friend I had to the point where, like, I only had the kind of people around me that I wanted. And like, that's the way it is now. I still test my friends to this day, but it's not with violence. It's with truth, man. Like, if you want to be better, then let's be fucking better. Like, if you want to do good things, then let's do fucking good things. Like, I won't have people around me now that I don't want around my son. Like, I don't sell myself, you know, and I never did. I never sold myself short. And you know, I'll tell you, by the end of the 90s, like, I was an unpopular person. Like, I was hated by most of the big bands in Detroit. You know, Walls of Jericho was coming up. Candace fucking hates my ass. Fucking Mike Hasty hates my ass. Like, all these motherfuckers hate me because their idea of hardcore was not my idea. I had a different idea of it, and fucking shows up and getting fucking wild was what we did. And that was my idea of it. And they didn't like that shit. And, you know, but I wasn't going to change it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how many fucking tours you're going on. I don't give a shit. You're going to be a fucking, you know, if you're going to be a real dude and a real person to me, cool. If not, fuck it. Like, it is what it is, man. You know, not talking shit on anybody, but yeah, like, I've seen a lot of people run their mouths, but I didn't see a lot of doers. And that's all I'm trying to be, man. I'm trying to take that spirit of what drove me to be who I was, to be who I am now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, because just like through, I don't know you personally. I've never talked to you a day in my life till today. Like I've known who
Yeah,
you are, friends of friends, and whatever. Seen you around the past fucking 17 years until you moved away. Um,
yeah,
but like just from like Instagram and social media, like you stumble upon people's shit and just see like, holy shit, like I was like, fuck, you're in Salt Lake, you're doing good, you're a barber, you have a kid. Like it's like something switched from the perception I had of you,
no, absolutely.
but still just knowing everything that you've been through. I just like being in like a hardcore show in the same room and like you having such like a big personality and thought you had something to prove, and now you never had nothing to prove, but like well, it's just I don't sound cheesy, but it's a good story of growing up,
You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I got out here, man. I didn't know that. I because growing up where I grew up, we don't know much about each other because what's the point? You know what I mean? You're either gonna go away for a while or you're gonna end up dead. So like, I'll tell you this, man. Like, Dave Gunn is one of the tightest people to me, and I love that man. And and that man stays in my house, and he has held my child, and he is, he's one of the closest fucking human beings to me. I never asked that motherfucker his past until I lived out here because why? we we're
Yeah.
both in shit. Like, we're gonna tell each other, hey, we were abused. Yeah, no shit. Me too, motherfucker. Like, let's get on with it. And like, until we got to be on a level where we could be real with each other, like, you just didn't know. And I didn't know, man. Uh Gunn is one of the people that's given me a lot of uh courage to even come out and do even do something like this, because he catches a lot of shit, and people like to say that a lot of stories and a lot of stuff that those guys say isn't real. But man, I can tell you straight the fuck up, like, the truths of a lot of those stories might be switched up a little bit just because we're not trying to get anybody hemmed up on some shit. But man, I was around for some of that shit, so it is what it is, man. And those
Well,
guys
those who
are,
know, like they got nothing to prove. So
no,
yeah,
absolutely not. But just him being able to come out and like stand on his own 2 feet in front of people and tell his truth, man. The old lady was talking to me last night. She was nervous. She was nervous about me doing this because she just wants to protect me,
for sure.
and people are going to say shit. I'm sure some people will say shit, and that's fine, because the way I look at it now is like, as you know, I mean, you thought I was 6'4". I was not a hard motherfucker to find. I was never hard to find. You don't meet a lot of giant fucking assholes with Flint tattooed on their face. You just don't. I was easy to fucking find. I've always been easy to find. And if they had a fucking problem, they should have fucking took it up with me then. Because now if they want to take it up on fucking Instagram, that's some fucking pussy shit. I'm not trying to fucking, I'm not trying to hear some bullshit. Man,
Yeah.
I hope some people reach out that I haven't talked to in a long time. I feel bad uh, that I couldn't have been there for like your generation. And, I talked to, Edgeman and some of those guys, and like some of these record labels that are coming up out there, man. I wish now, in the way that I am, I wish I could have been a little bit more of an influence to you guys, and been able to kind of maybe scare you guys straight a little bit, and get into kind of where my head's at now. But yeah, no, I'm trying to do that out here as much as I can, man.
Yeah, it's be a better, influence. And if anybody even fucking listens to this, anybody from, the Detroit hardcore to younger kids, I don't know, there's a lot of fucking older people checking this out. It seems more than the younger people, which is fine, which is great. But this can just go to show that whatever you're trying to prove now, it's not fucking, you don't have to like just be
No.
yourself, and hopefully learn a lesson sooner than later and grow up.
Yeah, it's the truth, man.
But
Like,
there's other people with with hard lives as well, who are going through it fucking now, and they don't know where to
Yeah.
turn, and just
No,
wish
I
the best
knew
for them.
your homeboy that died.
Danny, yeah.
Yeah, he used to come around Chris Sommerfeld's spot
Oh, the
every
Static
once in a
Age.
while.
Yeah.
And man, he was a funny kid because he was dude, he was like he was like the only kid that was younger that was on a level. When he was straight edge and stuff, I remember we were standing at the door and there was these two kids standing outside that were arguing about their fucking Xbox Live accounts. And he's standing there and he looked at me and he goes, I can't even afford a fucking Xbox. These two crust punks are talking this shit. And I was just like, I just fucking laughing my ass off, man.
Sounds like him.
Yeah, he was
fucking loudmouth.
Oh, dude, he was trouble. He was fucking trouble. And like I talk to him every once in a while. Like I said, it's Static Age because he was one of those kids that Chris would throw out and be like, "No, man, you can come back next week." And he would just be like, "Fuck, man, come on! Like I ain't got nothing else to do." And it'd be, and then I'd just be out there kicking shit to him, just trying to get him on the straight and narrow, man. And that's too bad to hear that he died. But bro,
he moved quick,
the paths
man.
we choose, man.
Well, it was crazy because I don't heard what John said. He was talking about like he wanted that tyrant tank on his throat.
Yeah,
he said he wanted to get, but I don't know how soon it was after that. Like let's be honest, like I think he broke edge, I think in like 2007, and he just fucking moved quick. A lot of people, including myself, were like, finally, we can fucking party with you. Like, he was always at the parties, but he was never drinking and shit. But a lot of people took it as a good thing that he was indulging in substances and getting fucked up, and he was still I think 18 or 19 then, and we were all a little bit older than him, and we loved it. Like, and because his mom, she overdosed, his brother fucking overdosed all before he was like 18 years old, man. And he was doing the right thing, and everybody was just like happy, like, finally, Danny, you can get fucked up with us now. And it just, and it's not necessarily that like they were like shoving shit down his throat, like he made his own choices, but that influence was a bad influence. And me being there, right next to him, so.
No. And that's the problem, man. When you're looking up to your peers, like you're not thinking ahead. You're thinking about now.
Yeah. And seeing you smash people is like, well, like shit, we want to smash people too. Like that wasn't a good influence.
No.
You're violent as fuck.
No, man. And I get it. Like,
it's fun, but hey.
No, I get it. No, it's too bad, man. There's a lot of people that there was a dude out here that got shot at a show, got shot and killed. And
damn,
it's kind of the same thing, man. But being, he looked up to the older dudes out here and just wanted to be one of those guys and just like wouldn't let shit go and cross the wrong kid. And this kid got froggy one night and just fucking shot him, and it over pit beef, man.
Yeah, it's crazy shit.
And it was like, it sucks, man. He had a brand new kid, and like, and I was talking shit to him before it even happened. I was like, you should be at home with your fucking kid. Said stupid hardcore fucking shows. Your band sucks. And he was just like, I know, man. I should be at fucking home. I know.
Yeah.
And but it's just kind of the way it goes, man. We've all been around a lot of deaths, especially in that state. My brother was a junkie. My oldest brother, he was in and out of prison most of his life. He was a wild kid, man. He tried to kill my mom. We didn't have the same mom. Tried to kill my mom over some shit, and ended up fucking ODing. Was robbing fucking Rite Aids with one arm. Like,
fuck, man.
He lost an arm fucking stealing a motorcycle one night, and he dumped it, getting chased by the cops, and killed his arm. and yeah, he got hooked on Vicodin like crazy. So he was robbing Vicodins, and they pulled him over in, I think it was Wisconsin. It was either Wisconsin or Minnesota, and he had like 130 bottles in his car. None of them had his name on them. And he was getting ready to go up again. This time was going to be a long bid. He had just done a federal bid on some wire fraud shit, and he didn't show up to court, and we didn't know where he was. And they found him 3 days later in a fucking motel. And dude, I mean, that's just not the life you want to live, man. My dad was actually happy they found him dead, because he was like, at least I know where your brother is. And that's fucked. That's fucked, dog.
It is.
Like that's
fought by your own fucking kid, you know?
Yeah, your own kid. Like that's not, bro. I don't want anything to do with any of that life.
No, like, just want to be a good influence.
My kid's not going to hardcore shows. How about that? My kid's gonna like fucking Taylor Swift. How about that?
Hey,
like,
keep him safe. Safe little white boy.
He's just gonna be a Wonder Bread kid out here doing Wonder Bread things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm totally cool. When my son's 13, man, like he just chills, plays Call of Duty, talks to his friends online. You know, the whole pandemic shit. Like normally they come over or whatever, but you know, like at 13 and 14, you know, I was out doing stupid shit then, and I know where he is. He's chilling at home. Like, all right, that's cool. Like, he's got friends. He does social shit, but. Man, thank you for sticking around. I hope he does, man. You know, I'm gonna be a positive influence. I'm gonna try to, like.
Bro, that's all you can do, man. And like I said, you gotta be the influence. You gotta be the person. If you want him to be good, man, you gotta be good. You know, and it's just that way. Like, it's good to see Lenny's got a kid and is like way into it. I love that shit. Because being a dad's the best thing that ever happened to me, man. You know, I could sit here and say that like straight edge was the best thing that ever happened to me. Dude, to be honest with you, like straight edge is the easiest fucking thing I do in life. Like, it's literally not doing anything. It's the boringest shit in the world. Like, at this point in time, being middle-aged and still being straight edge, why would I sell out now? It's fucking crazy. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't want to spend money on anything. I'm not going to go get fucked up. I'm just going to go to sleep. Like, that's all I do anyways. So, like,
how about a big bag of mushrooms? Big fucking 7 grams.
Jesus fucking Christ. Just what I need.
See some shit, bro.
Start fucking hit a DMT trip and then end up in the pen. I wouldn't want to open the doors in here. I've opened enough of them.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
You know, you recognize it yourself. It's fucking scary.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Shit. So now you're just doing the old fucking boring dad thing out there in fucking Utah, huh?
Yeah, just cutting hair, man.
So it's like a suburb, or is it like normal, or?
No, man, I live in the suburbs, dude. I live 30 minutes outside of town, and I live in the suburbs. It's the, you know what I mean? It's the fucking, it's the most
easy living,
Mayo white area you've ever seen in your life, man. Like bland food, and
no flavor.
Fucking people with their Blue Lives Matter flags, and like they like cops because they know they're never gonna get in trouble. And
that's how I imagine it. Like, I was wondering, is there like a hood there, like at all? Like, is there any like?
Here's the thing: is
low
like,
income a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's some lower income neighborhoods because like the Hispanic population out here is pretty good. Like, to be honest with you, like Hispanic food out here, the Mexican food is amazing, and like, so you know, there's some gangs, and there's a little bit of shit to get into. You know, straight edge out here in the 90s was fucking insane. I mean, it was considered a federal gang out here. They got wild with it. In fact, I got pulled over here, and with my tattoos, I got put on a city watch list. I'm on a gang. I'm in the gang book, just for having the tattoos. It's crazy. The 90s out here were nuts, but yeah, man. I mean, Old Kearns is like bikers and like engine blocks hanging from trees and like that kind of shit, like Burton shit. Whereas like, you can go over here in West Valley. But to be honest with you, this city is blowing up right now. Like you can't get a house downtown for under 600,000.
Damn,
bro, it's insane. Like I'm around people that are millionaires and it's weird. It's fucking weird. Yo, they've got cardio fucking theaters in their gyms. It's just these giant theaters with fucking cardio equipment.
Fucking white people, huh?
It's white people shit, dog. This is white people shit. And they say white people don't have culture. They got culture. I've seen it. It's out here. It's out here.
Hilarious.
But yeah, man, it's good out here. It's quiet. Yeah. It's peaceful.
Any raccoons? I know you like raccoons.
Man, I love fucking raccoons, dude. Raccoons
I know. I see your posts, man.
To live, dog. They're survivors.
They are. They're bad motherfuckers.
The nastiest motherfuckers alive, dude. You can't kill a raccoon. Raccoon will kill you. Eat you.
I know. I see your posts. Every day is a different picture of a fucking raccoon on your story.
That's because I love them, dog. I love them. Everybody likes lions and tigers and all that crazy shit, but I'll take a raccoon any day.
I got a shark. How about that? I got a shark on my Nice, man. Well, fucking, happy you're doing well, man. That's all you can ask for after all the chaos. Whether you look at it as like a caricature of like the hardcore days of you stomping around, acting fucking crazy, but we come to find out
it was a pressure valve. It was just me it was just me letting out, and it was a part of my life, and it's still a part of my life. Like
for sure,
I could sit here and fuck hardcore, and fuck this and fuck that, fuck straight edge, like whatever. Like it was a part of my life, man, and it was a big part of my life, and I met a lot of people through it. I had a lot of fun. Like I said, my fun isn't everybody's fun, but I had a lot of fun. I don't regret anything I did. I don't regret anybody I've met. I don't regret anything I've said. I live my truth every day, man. And I try to be as honest and truthful as I can, even if it makes me look like a fucking idiot. Like, I'm just trying to be honest, dog. I'm just trying.
Man.
I don't want to live 2 or 3 different lives at a time, man. I had to live a lot of lives at the same time, trying to keep girls and trying to stay in the streets and trying to do crew shit, trying to do gang shit. Man, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm Zac now. I'm not fucking Flint face. I'm not fucking Zac from Flint. I'm Zac. I'm just Zac. I'm just me. I'm
remember that.
You know what I'm saying? That's fine, man. Like, you don't know. And that's not, but like people out here don't even know who Flint Face is. They sit down and they're scared.
Lucky them.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, 100, man. I tell people that all the time, man. If you would have known me then, you would have fucking hated me. So
I always found it entertaining, but we all move on.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
The opportunity.
A good opportunity and a good conversation where we recognize our growth and fucking be better people.
I ramble.
So, no, it's all good, man. I appreciate it. All right. Well, thanks again, man. I'll put this up probably in a couple weeks, just so you know. I'll let you know.
Okay, Rob. Yeah, right. Let me know, man. And if there's there's anything you need from me or anything like that, or something comes up, you want to bullshit again, I don't give a fuck.
Anytime, man. It's fucking great. We can talk more shit.
Absolutely, dog.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for whatever comes your way.
No, there ain't nothing coming my way. Thank you.
All righty, man. Thank you.
See ya.